Jerry Royce Live Worldwide at positivepower21.org. We thank you for joining us. You can also find us on Elation Radio. Serenity is a Christian-based multicultural empowerment station that focuses on the mind, body, and spirit. The program specializes in bringing to the listeners the very best from the healing arts community on the subjects of self, health care, spiritual healing, and kingdom living. Serenity Radio is sponsored by the Serenity Weight Loss and Detoxification Program. To enroll, contact Michelle Edmonds, a.k.a. the Godmother, at 404-445-8579, or hit them up on Facebook at Serenity Weight Loss. The next voice that you hear will be that of our awesome host.
Hey guys, how are you? Commander in the house, welcome to the Hour of Power, everybody.
How are you doing this evening?
Oh, I'm going to teach you we talked about surviving the extremes, and I survived another one. I'm just getting on the other side of something, but how are you? How are you, Andrea?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Well,
I'm surviving, too, all the challenges.
Yes, you're the travelologist
They're coming,
right
too.
now.
Let me tell you, they are coming.
Uh-oh. Well, let us know if we can put a special word there. With you, Tracey, are you home? Uh-oh.
She's home. She's either with us and muted, or she'll be joining us in just a few seconds here.
All right. Hey.
Yeah. She's
We're in
doing very
April.
well.
We made it to April. Hallelujah. Well, last week we talked a lot, but apparently a lot of folks didn't hear us because we didn't get recorded. So my rant went unfounded, except for the Holy One upstairs, and that's okay. One of the things that I did try to talk about last week, and I had too much to talk about, Andrea, and not enough time. Hey, go figure. And that's okay. It's all right.
There's a lot to say.
There is. And thanks to all of you that made it last week. Sorry it wasn't recorded. And we forgive our technicians, of course. And thanks to Michelle for...
We just want you to know that the technician is in the house, and it was recorded. And the recording is being loaded on the Hour of Power platform as we speak. Bam!
Amen. There you go.
Bam! How you like now?
So you guys got a big crowd tonight. We got over 900 in the house. How about that?
That's fantastic.
I know. But if you're on this side of it from where I am, and Andrea and Michelle, it's almost like you're talking to one person. And I remember the first couple times I got on the air, not here specifically, but it felt like I was talking to nobody. I just had to keep talking. And that's what I was told. Is that a cat that's ill? Or somebody's trying to play clarinet in the worst way. That's what it sounded like.
I'm a full clarinet player myself. We can tolerate that.
Yes, to a point, yes.
Just wanted to add, though, that everyone can check out all of the broadcasts that we've had for Hour of Power. Some of them we are reloading, and there are new ones being added each week. But the one from last week is loaded on the Hour Panel channel. Yes, it is. So you guys...
Thank you very much.
Oh, praise God. How about that?
Yeah, you can only get so much of me, but, the little bits that you get.
We got to catch it, right? Catch
it and run. That.
And we got it.
You got to run with it, because everything we do and say here is, as Andrea would say, scientifically based and clinically verified. We don't intend to cure any diseases. What we do is help you promote your body's ability to heal itself through the use of non-medical medication solutions. Although last week I talked about a test that you could have to eliminate a lot of health issues that you may have, that I've seen just pop up all of a sudden and cause a lot of grief and suffering. That was the scanning, the ultrasound scanning. Carotid arteries, your heart, your abdominal aorta, the big vessel that runs along your spine, down into your legs, and then again some checks of your peripheral vascular vessels that are in your arms and legs, most of your legs, because we do see a high incidence of things like called deep vein thrombosis. That's a big deal. Last month was DVT Awareness Month, and the commander is definitely a member. So that was very, very, very important, and I'd be curious to see how many people went ahead and did that, because, we haven't been taking nutrients since day one of our lives, and our mothers weren't taking them, at least in my case. And I suffered a lot of things as a child. So I suffered seizures. I had my appendix out. I took a good shot in the head, took a few good shots in the head from fights. Growing up in the neighborhood, I did. But hey, if there's ever a question that you have or things that you need to get hold of, I know Michelle, she promotes us in a great way in the introduction. Say we give the best, and I think we do. Try to stay current. I am a registered nurse. I've been that way for about 30 years. I've been going crazy in the medical field since 1978. More formally at that time, but heck, I learned CPR when I was 14 or 15, and what a way to watch things come and go, and come back. The way we manage these patients, it kind of goes in a circle all the time, although technology is pretty well advanced, but technology wasn't as advanced for the commander. On Tuesday morning, the wife, Mrs. Commander, got home late, and unfortunately she cleaned up something with bleach on the floor. I tried to make the bleach solution for the house, so it's like 0.5% solution. You never want to use more than that in the house. And in my case, I suffered dearly for it. I got up that morning early for work, and the watery eyes, the runny nose had already set in. I wasn't able to get some homeopathy until about 4 o'clock that afternoon, and it had taken a great hold of me. It's like giving your windpipe a sunburn is what it does. To me, I'm very sensitive to that. She didn't open the windows, and the doors and the fans were off in the room, and so I had to go home from work at midnight. I'd worked about 18 hours, about all I could stand, and I went home and tried to sleep. I wasn't moving I was moving air. Again, you can kind of hear it in my face. My sinuses got a little junky the first night. I'm pretty much dried out right now. I'm trying to recover with more fluids. And I didn't want to eat. I still don't want to eat. I had some salad for dinner with some pumpkin seeds. That's what I ate for dinner, basically. But I had a little bit of yogurt in my dressing without oil and cilantro is good for anything. So we're supposed to talk about surviving the extremes. I think I'm going to go back to work tomorrow. My voice may change, be more of a Lou Rawls voice, maybe James Earl Jones, if I don't keep up on my fluids. So please forgive me for how I sound. But again, to be healthy means not get sick. To be healthy means that your body responds in a great way. Your body responds in a great way and shortens the duration of the illness, like the colds and the flu season. And some people might notice, excuse me, some people might notice they're having headaches and they're coming and going away, coming and going away, coming and going away. So what's happening? You could very definitely, again, what causes a lot of seasonal affective disorder is vitamin D, and that's one of the direct relations there. So that's a little something to think about. Some people don't notice because the headaches are all the time. They kind of give up on it a little bit. They take painkillers. Now that the spring's coming in, there's some sunshine. It's coming and going, coming and going, coming and going. So in a way, you're surviving an extreme for sure. But I want to relate a story about a guy who was one of those ultra athletes. And I guess 1/5 of our earth is desert. And he was traveling in the desert. They had a backpack. They got to carry a few other things. They had water stops. Well, all of a sudden a sandstorm hit. See? A sandstorm hit. And he got off the path. And he got lost. And your brain doesn't do really good. I mean, usually your heat comes out through the top of your head and out of your face, and your body circulates it to your wrists and ankles and in your skin. And you do everything to keep going. Well, this guy kept going for quite a while, to the point where he had lost so much fluid that his eyes were sunken in his head, his skin was so shriveled up. A little local from the Sahara Desert, an 8-year-old girl, saw him walking up onto the goat farm that she kept with her parents. And so I guess what they did, eventually they medevaced him, but what they did is they laid him in the pool of water. It tells us a lot about our skin. It will absorb fluids. I mean, there was no way without a medical doctor or advanced scope paramedic or somebody to put a central line in you that you were going to get hydrated. And apparently it took quite a bit, but he survived. And the body was so resilient to that. The brain survived. His liver did get damaged, but all in all, he did pretty well. So those are some of the amazing things that the body does. I promised the girls I wouldn't talk too long today. And Tracey's here from Australia. Thank you, Tracey.
You're welcome, Mark.
There you are. Your voice is so much more vibrant today. You don't sound thousands of miles away. You sound right sitting next to me in the chair here.
The connection is good.
Superb. I guess the people out west, but I wanted to just say we're thinking about people out east. They're going through some really bad storms right now. And again, we're all going through extremes. We need to survive them. We may have to have a show where we just talk about what you can do just to have on hand to help make that easier, because all the weather we're suffering now is very extreme. I think I mentioned this last week as well. So again, water, so important. Keep a few gallons per day, at least 3 or 4 gallons per day. I know my dogs went through 3 gallons a day yesterday. And that was pretty important. I have 4 of them. Hats off to my kids, I call them. Today, they all went out on leash with the commander, and there was no strife or anything. They enjoyed themselves. It was sunny out. Everybody took care of business this morning, even though Miss Commander went with, which she always likes to do. But I had my hands on the leashes. So, hallelujah. People were saying that was never going to happen with the mix of breeds that we have. But, hey, well, we all are created by God. We're all supposed to get together, love each other. And I keep reminding those little puppies that. And I think they finally heard me. So, hallelujah and amen. So, right. So, let's come in with a little word of prayer. Merciful Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for helping us be thoughtful of everyone in the world. Make us more strong in love, Father. And don't viciously attack anybody, verbally, physically. There's so much strife in the world, so much trauma. Let us think about things that are good, that make people happy, and try to lift each other up every single day. I'm grateful for the wisdom that you give us, the chance to spend an hour with the assembly in the kingdom. Remember, church is not a building; it's wherever you want it to be. Although we're not a church, but we can fellowship together. We can ask questions. We can pray for each other. We can pray for answers from you, Father, because you are the ultimate physician. Father, we're grateful for everybody that made it tonight. We're grateful for Andrea, Michelle, and Tracey, who's going to take over here in a few minutes and bring us some solutions to help us honor the temple that you give us. Father, thank you for your infinite love, mercy, and grace, and it's in your Son's name we pray. Amen. All right.
Amen.
All right. You guys been quiet, so hey, it's all you now. It's all you now. I'm out. Sort of.
I dig it. What are we doing, Michelle? You phone us?
I don't know. What are you guys doing?
Oh.
You were talking about weight loss 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
And you were going to keep going with that series, and I gave you, we said it every other week.
Oh.
So.
Yes.
My understanding was that we were going to take a break this week. We were talking about the challenges and extremes, and then picking up again with Sassy Girls next week.
Yeah, you're definitely going to have to do next week because, it's that magical Thursday.
Oh, that was my understanding.
All right. I'm not devoid of material. No way. We want everybody to feel better, right?
Yeah.
I'd like to thank my pit bull Molly for sitting with me tonight and keeping the love flowing in the room. She's just all about joy and gratitude. So, hey, I always.
Not on?
Andrea's on. She's probably on the road somewhere. She's probably.
I am on the road and I am on the call.
Focus. We don't want you driving into the ocean.
I have my amazing daughter Emily is driving.
Yes, Emily.
I am all yours right now.
Wow, I'm sitting and I'm grateful. And that was for you, Tracey, not for me.
Yeah, oh, geez. Okay.
I guess Michelle put me on the spot.
About weight loss.
No, we don't have to talk about weight loss right now if you don't want to. I did want to bring up one more thing. There's been a couple of things going on in the drug world. Not the heroin, opiate, cocaine, whatever world.
Yeah.
Although I had a patient the other day that loved beer, and apparently marijuana and cocaine, and his brain started bleeding. Not a cool thing, and that's not medicine that's used for hypertension. Definitely alcohol's not it. It will relax your vessels, but definitely not it over long term because of the sugar and all the other stuff. your body rebounded. You know, we talk about the nutraceuticals, so we should bring Carlos Solis on. He's a pharmacist down on the East Coast by you hot Atlanta people, Carolinas and stuff. I ran into him due to another friend of mine, Laura and Chris Shigaris, and he is a member of the WarriorZ. So if you have a drug-related question, Carlos Solis, S-O-L-I-S. And you can go find us on the Wellness WarriorZ on Facebook. That's Wellness WarriorZ with the Z. Although the S's have crossed over into the Z's, which is good because there's more strength in numbers. So, and I just want to thank you all for your support there, and all my administrators who I can't name because I have to keep so many because so many people try to either sabotage us or sometimes we all slip and fall and use the wrong wording. So we got to be pretty cool about that. So the FDA and the FCC and those people don't come after us. See, and it gives us an opportunity that, say, if Google says, hey, we're going to block your site for a little while from doing other things, we have other people to handle it. So, and that gives us a safety valve as well, even though we use social media. Wasn't my favorite thing to do, but I thought making a think tank a few years ago was a good thing to do, and apparently it was. What are we now, Andrea? 6,500 strong?
Very good thing to do, yeah.
Yeah, we're 6,500 strong, and, you know, that's a few more people than when Jesus spoke at the lake with 5 loaves and 3 fishes, even though I'm sorry I can't feed all of you guys right now.
I'm not going to draw any parallels to Jesus.
Okay.
But it's an amazing page, and there are some 20-year veterans on the page that have been living their life with minerals and plants and herbs and for the past 20 years of their life, and they have helped hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. And the page is also filled with new people who who do not even know what selenium is.
Right.
And there might be a lot of people listening on the radio call who don't know what selenium is either, but it is an imperative mineral that the body must have. And so the page is just filled with so much wisdom and so much new growth, and it's just so wonderful how everybody comes together and supports each other. And, you know, a lot of people have experience in one issue over another. You know, one might have a lot of experience with bone and joint pain and scoliosis and, you know, rheumatoid arthritis, and another person might have years of experience in dealing with thyroid. And so together, I don't think there is anything we cannot address or collectively help somebody with on the Wellness WarriorZ page. It's just really a wonderful, wonderful page and wonderful idea, and I thank you very much for starting it because it was crucial in me turning my health around. So thank you, Mark.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah.
You know, we don't allow bad words. We don't allow arguments. I'm talking from the perspective of myself, leading that to my administrative staff. We don't do that because negativity breeds negativity, but there's good skepticism, and we go with that.
Right.
We go with that. There's importance for that. So, hey, I know one thing that's on the real big, you know, I go sometimes, Mrs. Commander, she'll bring these resources home for me, these little magazines and the health food store and that. And one of the things I always talk about is how drugs deplete nutrients, you know. So I thought maybe today, too, we'd go over a couple of them and, you know, and what happens. You know, Zocor was a big one, one if you're trying to lower your cholesterol. But if you want to lower your quality of life, go ahead and stay on it. Sorry. I did not just say that, did I?
Yes, you did.
I shot from the hip. That came straight from upstairs. That's the way I roll, because I say what I need to and I want, because it's my show.
Well, I think it's important, and you have the right to know if your doctor is using a medication, what's it called, when they use it for a purpose that it was not intended for.
Exactly.
What's that called? Off the shelf?
Other than intended. Other than prescribed.
You mean other than malpractice?
Yeah, or
no.
Or using it long term when it was not designed for long-term use, like warfarin. Right?
Here you go. When I learned to take care of people in a cardiac arrest, warfarin was the big one. Warfarin's only used for one thing, though, Andrea. I'll tell you that right now. But nobody knew what the side effects were other than bleeding to death and dying, and maybe having a mouse bite you and die from your blood, So, that's like me. I was on, like, more than I'd ever given to any patient in my life, 10 to 12 milligrams a day. I maybe gave 3, 4, maybe 5 milligrams, right? I was really not doing anything to reverse it, and it just kept going up and up and up. And I was losing weight, and getting back to my ideal body weight. And I'm like, what the heck? So then, it dawned. It said, this is probably not the answer. So I took a chance. I listened to I listened to naturopath. I was looking for ways to improve my life. And lo and behold, the doctors that specialize in chronic disease, the naturopathic doctors, teaching us how to support and promote our bodies to heal itself. Bazinga, I had good results. And that's another thing. Is an extreme to one person, an extreme in a small effect as I'm not taking my nutrients every day, okay? You're surviving an extreme. You know it's been working for you, and you don't do it. I'm going to testify right now, most people. So right now, I'm just pounding the BTT and rebound, trying to stay moisturized and nutrified. How about that word? How about that phrase? Moisturized and nutrified, because we know it always goes to the skin. So, again, Coumadin, other than prescribed use, I think what we're thinking about is what we're thinking about there. And when I learned cardiac drug.
Off-label.
Okay.
That's what it's called.
Okay.
When they use it off-label.
That's another one. That's another way to put it. A big deal was when I learned how to take care of people that were in cardiac arrest or their heart was going crazy or something like that. And it's always an emerging thing. And we learned about a drug that controls seizures, but if no other medicine was controlling your heart and it was going nuts, I don't know if we do it anymore. I don't think so. We had Class 1, Class 2A, 2B, Class 3, and Class 4. And I think it was a Class 4 use of Dilantin would help the heart settle down. I do know that Dilantin, though, whenever I'm giving it to a patient, can help as a side effect, other than conquering the seizure, perhaps brings the blood pressure down a little bit. A lot of times they're using it in a stroke. But, of course, they came out with a new one called Keppra, and we'll go there in a minute. But and let's see what that depletes from you. So you're on Keppra the rest of your life, what happens. But I wanted to go ahead with Zocor because there was like a big-time lawsuit and stuff like that was brought out with that. And a couple of things, a couple of the nutrients by priority. First one was zinc, right? So what happens when you're short zinc, right? Your wounds don't heal as good as they should. Your immune system goes in the toilet. You don't taste as well. You can use your sense of taste. For the guys, they get erectile dysfunction, poor appetite, hair loss, diarrhea. Women stop their periods. And you get white spots on your fingernails that's underneath. And I had a kid that was about 11 or 12. He said, hey, Mark, I got this. This was a kid in church. And I supplemented them generally. the total multivitamin. And in about a week and a half, I think 2 weeks, they were gone. And I also helped them how to promote absorption of the nutrients as well. And that. Hey, what's that one you just talked about? You talked about selenium, didn't you, Andrea? Yeah. All right. So if your selenium's low, hypertension, thyroid, which will give you fatigue, constipation, dry skin, weakened immunity again. Hello. So it's opening you up, even though, you're trying to get rid of all this cholesterol in your body. It also depletes your omega-3, so you get fatigue, memory loss, dry skin, there it is again, heart disease, high levels of inflammation. What's one of the major killers today, people? Heart disease, all right? High levels of inflammation, mood swings, depression, and poor circulation. So again, you stop taking the medicine, that's up to you. I mean, if you want a private consultation with me, you're more than welcome to that. And you can probably get me on WellnessWarriorZ with a Z at gmail.com and just say Hour of Power in the subject line and ask me a question. Or Mark Denning is my name, Denning. You can friend me on Facebook. I'm usually the handsome guy with the camouflage background. Who knows what I am right now. Oh, is that Randy? I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry.
Close one eye and it'll look half as bad, okay? Just close one eye and it'll look half as bad. Somebody told me I looked good walking the dogs today, but she was all the way in Canada, so it's far away.
You did look good with those dogs today.
They were very good.
You have them under control. 4 dogs on a leash, guided by one man.
The dogs are beautiful.
Yes, there was constant praise. There was constant praise for them the whole entire walk. And Mrs. Commander was trailing me with the poop bags because they all went.
One woman always gets the poop job.
She volunteered. Because, Andrea, I got almost 300 pounds of dogs on leashes, over 300 pounds of dogs. If they decide to scatter, it's going to be a little harder to pull Uncle Mark than Aunt Nikki. She'll lose her arms, and, even though she's very strong, Miss Commander, very good shape. So anyway, the other thing that happens, yes, Molly, you were awesome sauce. That's her. I went into school with her one time. We sent her for obedience training, and her and Milo, the 135-pound bull mastiff, who just celebrated 1 year. He's a year-old boy now. And I told the trainer, I said, we're going to have to change Molly's name to Peak-Ass. He goes, what is that? I said, baby girl awesome sauce. So, because she really has transformed. She has her moments, but that's because of her previous life, as she was abused. And now she is fostered and rescued and sleeping peacefully right by her papa, which she always does. But always full of kisses and hugs. She is the biggest hug and kissing dog I've ever met in my life. So anyway, back to Zocor. Things that we're trying to recover from are heart failure and things that are associated with it. But if you deplete the body of an enzyme called CoQ10, you can get congestive heart failure. Again, your blood pressure goes up, so they got to give you 2 more pills, digoxin, perhaps lisinopril for hypertension, which is one of the most common ones today. Your cholesterol goes up. Oops. Elevated blood sugars, which causes inflammation. Holy Moses. Cardiomyopathy, that means your heart muscle doesn't do as well as it should. Muscle pain, because it interferes with the liver and protein metabolism. And you get periodontal disease in your mouth. So if you're doing those things, and everybody has their point of saturation, I think. I call it either the tip of the iceberg or the top of the mountain, that you get over that part and your body starts to deteriorate. And heck, we need another one. So it's very true. and my colleagues and mentors both, Drs. Wallach and Dr. Glidden, both naturopathic physicians, you know, they bring it into light when they say once you hit 50, you get a new diagnosis every 2 years. You get a pill for this one, a pill for that one, a pill for the side effect of this one, a pill for side effect of that one. Hamna. And pretty soon, I looked at this lady's med sheet the other day. I was transporting a patient. I went to her husband, when does she eat food? When does she get a chance to do that? I was so grateful there was a language barrier, in a way. Because it was so sad. So, hey, let's go to Coumadin. Hey, let's do Coumadin and see exactly. And it's going to be a new visit for me. Oh, and by the way, I did that. Uh-oh, didn't do it. Hang on. Uh-oh. Let's go to warfarin, just in case they're not having a good time here. Wow. No results. No results. Is that crazy? Hang on. Oh, that website I'm on right now is called mytavin.com. Wow. The medications that were searched have no research-supported nutrient depletions at this time. But they will update it regularly. So sorry. All we know is it kills rats. All right. And now they say that Coumadin interrupts 6 of the clotting. It's called a cascade. There's 12 factors. It interrupts 6 of them. And the new one's like, what's a new one? New one. Come on, Tracey. Help a brother out. I can't think of it right now.
Which new one are you talking about?
Oh, you're so bad. You made me think of it. Don't worry about it. I got it. They didn't do that one. They didn't do that one either. Xarelto. See, you made me think of it. Good girl. Good girl. Ah. Again, there are no...
It, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's supposed to be here.
Uh-huh.
It's not doing it. All right, let's go to another one. What's another drug? Let's go to a beta blocker. A lot of people are on low pressure.
That's for lowering their blood pressure, isn't it? Anxiety.
Yeah, it's also for controlling your heart rates.
Because
right?
when your heart is overworking, your blood pressure goes up.
And it doesn't want your heart to do that. Where is it? Oh, geez.
Hey, I know something that helps with that too.
Oh yeah.
A little bit of calcium and magnesium.
Yeah, well, yes, it does. Well, here we go. I think it's more than this. But anyway, it says it only depletes melatonin and CoQ10, but I know that's different. I know that for a difference. So again, websites are going back and forth. And there was a website from a hospital I came across the first time when Mrs. Commander was working, and they had a reference to it as well. They say it reduces melatonin. So again, that's going to play with your sleep cycle. So again, ADHD, irritable bowel, breast cancer risk. And it's going to deplete CoQ10, So you're going to get that congestive heart failure, hypertension, elevated cholesterol, elevated blood sugar, cardiomyopathy. So you're going to need, again, digoxin, maybe some lisinopril, metformin, nothing to help the muscle pain, maybe Tylenol or some narcotic, and periodontal disease, you'll have to go see the dentist. So it's a win-win-win for all those guys. Holy Moses. And believe it or not, this website has references. And where did it come from? PubMed.gov. So they brought it together to one of my favorite websites in the whole world, PubMed.gov. You know, because again, being it was DVT Awareness Month, you know, there's been a big kick on this turmeric thing, right? What do you guys think?
Mm-hmm. Right. There's been a lot of talk. Mm-hmm.
A lot of talk about that. Well, it reduces a lot of inflammation. They talk about that a lot. They talk about it.
Mark, can I?
Well, of course you can.
Since when did metformin become a beta blocker? I thought it was
when did
for
what?
diabetes.
No, I was going over those symptoms and how they were related and what medicines that they would add on.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for helping me be clarified on that, Tracy. Tracy's also a registered nurse, by the way, which brings more of it to the table.
Not a practicing one.
Oh, yes, you are. You never stop.
You
never stop, Tracy.
I know. I don't. I still go through all the books and keep up with.
Yes, she does. This lady is the mineral mama. She is the mineral mama of Australia. I heard she's punched out a kangaroo.
I wish I did.
Yeah, you'd be in Guinness Book of World Records, wouldn't you?
Yeah. They are boxing kangaroos, actually.
Yes.
You can't.
Yeah.
They're too fast.
Like
you wouldn't get a shot in.
No, you can only take one hit and you're done. That's it. So, hey, what's another name for turmeric? Curcumin, right? Or cumin?
Yes.
So that's important. One of the things I did notice about that, a lot of people are on Plavix. That's another type of blood thinner that prevents those part of your blood. You have basically three components. You have red blood cells. You have the plasma, which is kind of just yellow, and the red blood cells, I say are red. And you have platelets. Now, when you're on Plavix, that kind of plays with the platelets. And when you take an aspirin a day for a long time, guess what happens? Plays with your platelets. So we end up giving people that have been on aspirin a long time that have had strokes that are bleeding, we ended up giving them platelets in their IV if they're available. Again, if they're available. They're always bucking the commander because my blood type's O negative to give blood because from my blood they can give a whole unit of packed red blood cells, some plasma out of that, and platelets. They spin it down, split it up, so it can actually help 3 people.
Yeah.
But you can't receive blood from anybody, Mark.
No, but I can give it to everybody.
Yeah, you can give it to everyone, but you can't receive it from anyone.
Which I'm used to doing, giving it to everybody. I'm used to giving. There's a reason.
Yeah, so hopefully it's showing things.
What's that? Yeah, you're right. And I did that talk the other day at our continuing education for the ambulance team that I'm on. We talked about blood typing and stuff, and my portion was on the reactions and how to handle the reactions of that. So I brought up a little history, and I talked about things 20,000 years ago, 30,000 years ago, the origin of man. The original blood type was type O. It was named after the origin of man. And I talked about people that had type B, for all those B people, that when they had a waterborne, that had a disease like typhoid, the coating on their red blood cells would mimic type B erythrocytes or red blood cells. So they didn't recognize it as easily, and people would suffer more. So that's not a cool thing. which I thought was pretty cool.
Did I read somewhere, Tracey, maybe it was you and I that had discussed it. Did I read that they were thinking of labeling a fourth blood type?
Oh, they have one. ABO and AB.
No, actually, they're talking about a C blood group.
A what?
C. You know how we've got A, B, and AB, and now
oh my goodness,
they talking about
oh boy,
a C blood group.
And what was it? And who was? And what identified the people that would fit into this new blood group?
Let's see.
You know, that's what baffled me, because I was like, let me come back to this and read this when I saw it, and I was like, C blood group? You know, you can't even get over AB with people saying how rare it is, let alone coming with a C blood group. And I think I lost the page because it was in one of the Australian, something to do with one of the universities here in Australia. And I lost the page, and I didn't know which one because I didn't look at the university name. But it's somewhere in Western Australia, one of the big universities studying this. And so I assume it would have to be something very rare to do with diseases that, you know, that change the composition of the blood. So I need to go and look for it and find on my URL in my computer in the history what I was looking at the time when that came up. But it's not yet conclusive, but I know they were saying that they are genetically looking into that, and there will eventually be a C blood group in the future. So I don't know exactly how that works or what brings that about.
Yeah. Well, you know how type A and B came about, right? Is when man migrated north. When man migrated north from Zaire into that environment, up that way, that they called it the type A people. And the people that went south, a lot of people from India and stuff are type B. Mm-hmm. And then when I believe it was the Mongols and the Huns started raping and pillaging people when we got type AB, and it started. And again, airline travel, right? People meeting each other, causing things. So Carl Landsteiner was the guy that got the Nobel Prize just for identifying the fact that we had blood types, and he was the one that was that way. You know, currently, I wish you'd find that, Tracey, because currently, you know, hey, we're still on ABO and AB. We're still on ABO and AB, kiddo. And, you know, for now, that's the allopathic community going that way. But I wanted to talk about turmeric.
So, Mark,
yeah.
What is it exactly that changed the composition of the blood that they were labeled B by going north, and then labeled or A by going north and B by going south? What actually changed and caused that change?
Because the A people ate more fish proteins and plant proteins. And a lot of the plants that they ate, but there weren't very many of them, like into Ireland, they ate a lot of potatoes because of the famine in that. You know, when the famine hit, there's a glacier up there. And they got stuck eating potatoes for a long time. And, you know, those proteins have an effect on your body.
Can that be reversed? So if I were, could I not change my blood type then by changing my diet?
That's pretty interesting. I don't think you can. Boy, if I would have heard of it, I would have did that. No, I would not get away from O negative because people always want your blood. But that's okay. Yeah, no, it's you know, like for me and you, it's like, hey, red meat, thank you very much. Let's have a steak.
Andrea can't eat red meat, but the B blood group, they they had more of a variety because they had meat and then they had the grains and they had milk. So that's how they came about with being able to.
And they had fruits as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they had fruits.
Mhm. So
remember
the blood groups, they're kind of more balanced because they have a variety of foods in those groups to eat.
Those Ayurvedic physicians had it made. They had so many more resources than the guys hanging up north. But that's what they had. But the best place to live, some of the places I talked that way is like Copenhagen and Norway and stuff like that. So those are type A people. Kind of weird. But just some thoughts. But anyway, if we go back to the aspirin thing and the Plavix thing, I think a good alternative would be curcumin or turmeric. There's some good things. If you have certain things, there's just a ton of studies out. 60 pages of studies. There's almost 1,200 studies in different things with cumin. And, I mean, even in the brain. I mean, kids have glioblastomas. They have astrocytomas. Those are the two famous. And older people get them too. Two famous brain tumors. And there's some inhibition of scar formation by, the astrocytes are the one that take the MSG and regulate it in and out of your system. So if you're bucking too much MSG, you're playing heck with your astrocytes, and boom, guess what happens? It forms a pocket there, it causes a tumor, and boom, they think it's brain cancer when it's really just inflammation, right? Just my thoughts. Pretty provocative, though, because I talked to a cancer doctor, and he goes, Mark, you're smart. So I said, Norm, what are we going to do about it? He goes, I'm only an administrator. I'm like, okay, bro. I'll keep working it. All right. Let's see. There's so much on anti-inflammation with turmeric and curcumin and comino. In the Spanish population, my aunt cooked a lot of comino. God bless her. All right. So, and what did young Javi do? They put it together. Here it talks about a study on resveratrol, curcumin, protective agents, and experimental rat model of intestinal ischemia and reperfusion. So, there you go. Keep the blood flowing is what they're saying. It keeps the blood flowing. It's keeping it flowing down there. There's a good chance it's doing everywhere else because everywhere else is connected. Am I right? So, but God bless those guys that started PubMed.gov. If I ever get to meet those guys, I'm just going to answer whatever they want. But let's see. All right, here you go. Here you go. People that got steroids, they've had injured throats. Say your larynx starts to narrow because of swelling or whatever. They can combine steroids and curcumin and have very good success. Now, there's another one out there that's coming with a hypertensive drug. They're combining it with B12. I remember we talked about lisinopril, and B12 was one of the things that it drained out of you. Well, they're starting to put those together. But I frankly see that, all the patients that I see are all on multivitamins, or they get an extra vitamin D, or they get extra vitamin C, or they're starting to give them Florastor, which is probiotics. I think it's too little too late. They don't give them enough. I can look at IV nutrition, and I look at the, because of wound healing in that, I look at the amount of selenium in there. There's just not enough, according to research that Dr. Joel Wallach did, utilizing the animal models at first in the diseases of exotic animals in the Smithsonian, by the way, as a national treasure. 12 people started authoring that book, you guys. And because of all the work that was involved, only Dr. Wallach and one other physician finished that book. All the rest of them dropped out.
Yeah, and it was, 20 years in the making?
Oh, that was the long road. Hats off to Dr. J for boots on the ground research in the lab, in the cadaver labs, with his eye in a microscope, Man, that guy did a lot of homework, not just looking it up online that we have a blessing to do right now. But we get to talk about his work, and they're facts. Like I said, everything here is scientifically based and clinically verified. So you need help with that or resources, by all means, get on the WarriorZ page like Andrea said. Utilize that search bar and go for it, all right? All right. So aspirin, it's a very frequent use one. We talk about it depletes iron, folic acid, B vitamin, vitamin C, and potassium. So with frequent use, but it also affects your platelets too. So heck with them. And if you're getting a Medrol dose pack, which is a steroid, so there you go, folic acid, vitamin C and D, minerals, particularly calcium, magnesium, zinc, selenium, and potassium. And what are we giving people nutrient-wise to help them with asthma and inflammation? Here's your quiz question.
Well, manganese is really good.
Okay.
For asthma, right?
Right, but we're doing calcium and magnesium well, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. And it keeps depleting it, so you're like, it's like you're trying to build it up all the time.
Well, the little
so everything interferes with zinc and.
I was going to say, I don't know, I can't remember the proper terminology, but you probably know it. The little, what are the little fingers in the lungs? Have the little balls on the end of them. What are they called?
Oh, the alveoli.
Yeah, they actually need the magnesium to exchange the oxygen and carbon dioxide. Is that correct?
Well, of course. Everything needs magnesium. It's one of the most potent minerals in our body, calcium, phosphorus, magnesium. Tremendous studies out there that if they would use that for people with heart attacks, that it would decrease their mortality rate very significantly for $2 worth of magnesium versus hundreds of dollars versus, I believe the drug's called amiodarone, which stays in our body way too long. Oh, God. And then people get toxic in it, and it's bad news. It's hard to come back from. So, yeah, all those things are, again, we talk about everything that are integrated, and they need to be taken together. And we don't fractionate in the beginning. And it's important to get all your nutrients, and we do it in a fine way. I believe it's the best way. Good liquid nutrition, essential fatty acids that are packaged in a nitrogen-enriched environment to reduce oxidation. These things are all important today. Everybody's starting to look at it. Again, the WarriorZ site is a great resource. You can start there and then build. It may provoke thoughts in your mind that help you overcome it. It's just there's not one piece of the pie, you guys. It's not about the MD. It's not about that white coat. Although it makes a lot of people nervous, but not me. It makes me laugh. I'm sorry, God. But they only can do so much. And again, we've professed on here that we've got to take charge. We've got to pray to God. We've got to seek advice because we shouldn't go it alone. We shouldn't be prideful. We should always be humble and calm about it. Remember, cancer didn't happen overnight. Remember, high blood pressure didn't happen overnight. These things didn't happen overnight. There's certain things that we have to deal with right away, and that's what I do on the ambulance. And to tell you the truth, I'm getting tired. It's getting on me. Everything's muscle memory, everything we learn, and we keep consistent because it's regulated by the government. And that even a new piece of a new flow chart we have to use when we give clotbuster medicine is because somebody screwed up in the government and now they have to track it better, so they bring it all the way down to us and make us do their job, which extends our transport times. Well, it doesn't extend the transport time. It extends the time when I get to a facility to finish filling out all the paperwork. And frankly, it sucks. Yes. I know we're at the top of the hour, aren't we?
We are. The blood type C group, it has to do with the antigens, okay? You know how you have the Reese's group?
Yeah.
And you have So there are over 50 different blood group antigens, and the 5 antigens that are very prevalent are D, C, and E. Now, there's a little c and a little e as well. So all depends when a newborn baby is typed, whether they have more of the C antigen than the others, the D and whatever. So that's how they classify the C group, C positive. Because each of us carry a little C at the bottom of our blood or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
So again, it all deals with it all deals with antigen and antibodies again, like Tracey's talking about, and she's talking about antibodies. These are in the blood plasma, right? The antigens are on the surface of the red blood cells, so you can separate those, Tracey, actually.
Yeah. So
and get away from them. So you have A, B, and O. An AB and a blood type, but the antigens, the antibody types can be there can be different antibody types as well. So
different antigens. So that's where the C would come if they determine a risk of hemolytic disease or whatever.
Yeah, did they say any groups of
So,
that might deserve a little more talk. No,
a little more.
You know, when you go to you give blood for the blood bank, it takes them 45 minutes to get it ready for you, unless it's a real emergency, and then everybody gets O negative. And if they're out of O negative, they're using O positive now because they're only finding cross reactions in like 5 to 15% of the people, and they think that's an acceptable, calculable. I wouldn't say loss, but if you're out of one and treat for the other, you can give some things to help palliate that until you can get them to the place where you can get them the right stuff. It's weird, but I think that's where they're going with that. It drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. Rob Peter to pay Paul. And that's the candy bar people. That's not, in the book. And those are in books. So again, recapping. Remember, every medicine you take, whether it's over the counter or whatever, depletes nutrients. Again, sometimes it's really hard to make up for that. And again, take control of your health. Seek advice. Love God. Love your fellow man. Guard your heart. Guard your family. And seek the truth. I think that's all I got. You guys got anything else?
No.
Well, hey, next week, the commander's going to probably be away unless he's listening. You need to tune in to the sassy ladies of the Hour of Power as they talk more about weight loss in their series. And I hope you'll be able to make it. Thank you all for coming today. I hope that you'll be able to spread the word about effective health solutions without medications. They work. We're proof of the pudding. So remember, always take the right dog to the right hunt. And that provokes some thought to you. You can always post it on the Warrior page, and we'll go with it. And this is Commander. Thanks again. I will see you next week. Have a great week.
You too, Ma. Bye.
Bye, Tracey. Bye, Andrea.
Hi, John Boy.
Thanks, Michelle. Yeah, bye, John Boy.
Night all.
I don't know who you want to be, you guys. I'm not going to go there. Sue Ellen, whoever, Mary, whoever, you know. I know none of you are little freckled kids, so we're all right. We're redhead freckled kids.